There is a very specific moment survivors of narcissistic relationships all describe: lying awake at 2 a.m., apologizing for something they didn't even do, wondering when exactly they became the problem. Here's the disturbing part: they didn't become the problem, nothing about them changed. What they were living through was never random. It's a pattern, one that psychologists have actually mapped stage by stage, down to the exact chemistry happening in the brain. In the next few minutes, I'll show you why a narcissistic partner loves you too fast, why they turn cold without warning, and why your own brain resists you when you try to walk away. This isn't opinion, every part of it is backed by real research, and the middle part is the piece almost nobody explains correctly. Every narcissistic relationship opens the same way: too much, too fast. Constant texting, grand gestures. I've never felt this way about anyone. Therapists call this love bombing, and it isn't romance, it's strategy. Clinical psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvasula, who researches narcissistic abuse recovery, describes it as a calculated mix of flattery, non-stop contact, and future faking. Talk of marriage and forever before you've even met their friends. The goal is simple: overwhelm your defenses before logic catches up. And it isn't random in length either. A recent university study found this intensity phase tends to last around 5.5 months for narcissistic men and closer to 3.5 for narcissistic women. It has a lifespan because it isn't built to last. It's built to hook you. Then, without warning, the warmth disappears. Small criticisms, sudden coldness, comparisons to other people. This is the devaluation phase, and it's usually where gaslighting begins, the slow rewriting of reality until you doubt your own memory. Here's the paradox: narcissism isn't confidence. Research by psychologist W. Keith Campbell has long shown the narcissistic self-image is fragile, propped up entirely by outside admiration. The moment you become a real, independent person instead of a mirror, the mask cracks, and a University of Arkansas study directly linked this fragile self-esteem to manipulative relationship tactics like love bombing in the first place. You didn't do anything wrong. You just stopped being useful as a source of validation. This is the part almost nobody explains correctly. In the 1980s, psychologists Donald Dutton and Susan Painter studied what they called traumatic bonding, attachment formed between an abuser and a victim through two conditions: a power imbalance and an unpredictable cycle of bad treatment followed by good. Their research found this bond often remained strong even 10 months after someone left. Here's why: when affection returns after coldness, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical involved in gambling addiction. Consistent love doesn't create that spike. Unpredictable love does. It's psychologically identical to a slot machine. You keep playing not despite the losses, but because of the occasional win. Which is exactly why "just leave" is one of the most useless things you can say to someone in this. It isn't weakness, it's neurochemistry. A 2023 study in personality and individual differences, surveying nearly 1,300 people who'd been with highly narcissistic or psychopathic partners, found that love bombing and jealousy induction significantly predicted PTSD symptoms, not just sadness after a bad breakup, actual post-traumatic stress. That number matters. It confirms what survivors have said for years: this isn't just a difficult relationship. For many, it's trauma, and narcissistic partners frequently isolate their target from friends and family, sometimes without even realizing it, which means fewer outside voices left to say, "This doesn't look right." So name the pattern. Idealize, devalue, discard, repeat. Seeing the cycle from the outside starts to loosen its grip. Reconnect with people who knew you before, and understand that your difficulty leaving isn't a character flaw, it's a predictable response to intermittent reinforcement, not a sign of weakness. If you're recognizing your own relationship in this video, that recognition is already the first step out. The most dangerous thing about narcissistic relationships isn't the bad days, it's the good ones. because the good days are exactly what keep you hopping, the bad ones will stop. If this helped, hit subscribe. Next week, the 4 types of narcissists psychology actually recognizes and how to spot each one before you fall in.